So, you know how the CGI in the She-Hulk trailers looked like absolute garbage? Well, it has nothing to do with Disney or Marvel or any of the visual effects artists who were working on the show. No, the problem here is you. That's right. You're a sexist. Right. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Let's take a look at this. She-Hulk director Kat Coiro blames criticism of Marvel series CGI on our culture's belief in its ownership of women's bodies. Whatever that means, I have no idea. In what very well may go down as one of the most baffling defenses of a Marvel product in all of history, She-Hulk attorney-at-law director Kat Coiro has asserted that the widespread criticism of the Disney Plus series CGI had nothing to do with its quality, but rather our culture's belief in its ownership of women's bodies. Coiro shared her opinion on the backlash to Jennifer Walters' Uncanny Valley-esque looks during an appearance at the series' August 3rd Television Critics Association press tour panel. There, the director asserted, "In terms of the CGI being critiqued, I think that has to do with our culture's belief in its ownership of women's bodies. Again, what does that mean? I think a lot of the critique comes from feeling like they're able to tear apart the CGI. CGI woman," said Coiro. "There's a lot to talk about her body type, and we based it on in Olympian athletes and not bodybuilders. But I think if we had gone the other way, we would be facing the same critique," she concluded. "I think it's very hard to win when you make women's bodies. No, this could have, if it looked like shit and it was a man, people would still critique it. All right, if it looks bad, people are going to talk about it. And again, you didn't even have to make her a CGI character. You could have just had a woman athlete, tone her up, make her lift weights, paint her green like you did with Gamora, and then make her look taller through, I don't know, camera tricks or something, and it would be fine, right? You didn't have to make her a completely CGI character. That's completely ridiculous. Men get critiqued on their CGI looks all the time. It's not exclusive to women. She-Hulk star Tatiana Maslany would later echo this rhetoric while speaking as to what she enjoyed about playing the series' title role. The series follows Jen as she navigates the complicated life of a single 30-something attorney who also happens to be a green 6'7" superpowered Hulk, explained the actress to the media in attendance. Jen has had her life planned out for her and has worked really hard to get to where she is as a lawyer, and to have this thing happen to her, that sort of derails everything, she continued. It is a bit of an identity crisis. Turning to what she found really compelling about the story, Maslany asserted that it was the element of how, when she's She-Hulk, she's treated very differently than when she's Jen. Oh, really? You think? I mean, you think you have it hard as She-Hulk. What about the fucking Hulk? All right? He completely loses control, or at least he did, until he became Professor Hulk. But he would completely lose control of who he is and become an actual rage monster. I mean, look at how he was portrayed in the first Avengers movie. He was actually kind of terrifying, and now he's a little pussy. But Bruce Banner took the back seat. Hulk was in control. All right. I think people saw him as a little more frightening. There's a lot of having to affirm her intelligence when she's Jen and assert her role in trying to get respect, whereas when she's She-Hulk, there's this inherent sort of awe inspired by her that's at odds with how she wants to be perceived, she elaborated. Her anger, her largeness, her taking up space in a room is all fertile ground for us to play with. Flip the standard on its head so you can laugh at it. We're so fixated on women's bodies, whether it's aesthetically or politically or in terms of rights or in terms of autonomy. I think what we do in the show is in touch with all of these concepts, she concluded. Notably, Coiro's statements in particular came the same day that Entertainment Weekly published an interview with the director wherein she revealed of the series' production. It was definitely something we talked about inclusivity. There's one of those keywords, those buzzwords, inclusivity, and making sure that the story was told through the female lens. Comic books have traditionally, in the art, been through the male gaze, And so there was a lot of talk about what is the female gaze and how do we create this from our point of view. One thing I always come back to was one of the wish fulfillment elements of getting to see her walking down a dark alley and someone gives her a hard time and she's able to kick their butts. The director detailed it was something that every single woman could relate to, any woman of any age. How exciting would it be to walk home in the dark and not worry, she added. She-Hulk is able to walk home even while wearing headphones and not worry because she has the power to not feel vulnerable physically. And I think that's a pretty unique thing that only a group of women could have brought to this, among other much more nuanced things as well. Again, this is not exclusive to women, all right? Being like walking down an alleyway wearing headphones and not having to worry. I mean, men have to deal with that shit too. All right. I can't just walk down a dark alleyway and just not be aware of my surroundings. Okay. Men get attacked too. This is completely ridiculous. Putting forth one example of such nuanced things, Coiro recalled, we talked a lot about women feeling the need to be polite. If some guy comes up to you in a bar, it's obvious what he wants, but you don't want to offend him because you are afraid of being rude. Again, not exclusive to women. Guys get hit on at bars too and turn women down. I mean, it's, again, not exclusive to women. Jennifer Walters has this new part of herself that doesn't have to temper that and doesn't have to put up with things she doesn't want to put up with, the director said. Jennifer Walters doesn't have to put up with that crap. I mean, this is just, again, complete ridiculous bullshit. Whenever people start criticizing these things, you know, when you start talking about inclusivity, diversity, you know, all those buzzwords, and then like, hey, we have the first black woman in this and the first trans this, and then when you criticize that product or that character, they just use those things as a shield from criticism. They'd be like, oh, you're just this, you're transphobic, you're sexist, you're a white supremacist because you don't like our character. That's what they do every single time. It's just become I don't know, kind of normalized at this point. It's kind of their routine. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I'm out.